As the world falls away, and I can't find a reason. As the world turns to gray, it's killing me unwillingly, and I am just the same as you.
Megan's Revenge. Oh boy. An episode that I'm actually kind of liking, considering that it's a Megan episode. Well, considering the fact there's another Megan episode after that, but I'm not going to review that episode since Baseball Sam 1 did a review on that episode. But anyways, this episode is about that a famous actress named Diana Vosh comes into Drake and Josh's apartment, well, house that is, and they decide to take pictures with her, but they really don't have a picture. They really don't have a camera to take pictures with. So Josh uses Megan's camera in her room, and they take pictures with them and Diana Vosh. However, when they get back into her room, Josh decides to take a picture of Hervé, which is Megan's hamster, and then the Flash completely killed the hamster. So I can't spell the hamster word right. I'm sorry. And they're completely afraid that Megan is going to kill them, because no matter what, anything bad they do, Megan's always going to strike back and completely destroy them. Well, not really destroy them, but completely torture them is what I mean. So they try to be very honest with her, and she accepts their apology, especially the fact that it was just a freak accident. Yeah, you really think that she's really mature in this episode. However, Drake and Josh denies that because it's actually a setup is what they think. Again, with this being a season 4 episode with most of the characters getting smarter and smarter, you can tell that it's going to be very hilarious to see what Megan's going to do with them next. I mean, after having their hair dye or pink, even though if it was just their idea of dyeing their hair pink during the bed of the first episode of season 2, with them completely getting in trouble with the worst reasons, in other words, Poovy and Pup Pepper, sheep thrills, but with other pranks and stunts like what she did in Megan's new teacher, and those other awful things, you can tell that they really want to stay out of this whole situation no matter what. They also need to spy on her just in case if she doesn't do anything terrible. And that's the majority of this episode, with some good moments that I will get to later. They also stayed up all night. All night. And believe me, I really found that completely believable because they're always afraid of Megan no matter what. So much that they really can't take the stress. And then at the end of the episode, Josh really thinks that Drake is in cahoots with Megan, while Drake is vice versa with Josh. I swear, this is really great on how these characters are getting too much stress with so many bad things happening to them. However, unlike the other times, well, it fails miserably, this actually works because even if it was an accident, they still did something to infuriate Megan. They at least did something for the most part, even if it was an accident. I'm only saying this because Megan is messed up in the brain. Well, it also reveals that Megan already got them instantly, because her goal was to see Drake and Josh swallowed by their own fear of Megan. Yeah. Megan has become too smart in the show. They actually made her to convince Drake and Josh that it was all her goal is to scare them for life. Really psychotic, but the only good thing is that Drake and Josh didn't get any torture from Megan. I lied. Because Megan managed to cut holes in the house of Drake's and Josh's room, and then they get crashed into the garage. Yeah, not really possible, but they still get punished nonetheless. And the other thing that you might need to know, Hervé, Megan's hamster, didn't die. He just got stunned. Yeah. All this is just nothing but to torture Drake and Josh. But I will say that at the end of the episode when Drake and Josh says Megan is probably a great way to end this episode. Overall, this episode was something that I like from Megan in this episode, even though I'm not going to reveal Megan's first kiss because someone else already made a review on it. I still think that this episode was pretty good nonetheless. I mean, for one thing, Megan didn't do anything wrong in this episode, considering the fact that she didn't torture Drake and Josh for nothing. But then again, at the end of this episode, she kind of did, but at the same time, she was just keeping it as a secret to herself. I really like this episode for what they did with Megan and Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh refuse to eat, sleep, or do anything for themselves because they know that Megan is going to do something with him. Like super glue their butts together, or probably something that's considered even worse than that. Believe me, when Megan made the food for Drake and Josh, I swear, this is just too great. I just can't stand the comedy. I just really love the comedy in this show. It's just too great. And it's really sad that afterwards, while there may be other comedy moments afterwards, the comedy just gets even more poor and worse from Dan Snyder. And again, I really feel bad that he isn't part of Nickelodeon anymore, but that's a different story. For what this episode has from beginning to end, it was pretty good with some mixed ideas of what they did, like having Megan being crazy at the end of the episode, but with a twist. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. If you really don't want to stand the Megan episodes like Poopy and Puff Pepper and She Throws, then watch this episode. At least everything makes sense in this. I give this episode a 7.2 out of 10.
I'm just like you, just